you guys have been working on in this field for decades now. Is there a sense of disappointment that despite, do you sometimes feel like lone warriors fighting against something that can't be controlled, or you're still hopeful?
Well, I mean, I'll kick off because I've had a long career, yeah, of some 40 years in the television business, and I think in the 90s, I think we kind of felt, oh dear, are we actually pushing it? Is anything going to actually change? Um, but then I think we changed the way we made films, and we went for more and more films that were actually going to try to bring about change. But also, the world in the last 20 years has changed massively. I mean, I just remember that even, just talking about climate change, everyone sort of said, oh, it's all made up in the 90s. And of course, no one would dream of saying that now.
On the ocean, and one of the reasons we wanted to do this was we're at this incredible point where we're halfway through the UN decade of the ocean. There is a moment in time when countries are now looking at how they protect their coastlines, that it also felt like it was the right story coming at the right moment, as Keith said, with the right examples of protection, so you can really show it at a moment when the whole global political infrastructure is starting to think, yeah, maybe there's a win-win here. Maybe by protecting the ocean, we get more jobs, better livelihoods, food security. We also help tackle climate change. It's sort of the perfect win-win-win. It's good for us, nature, climate, and it felt like it's the right optimistic story coming at the right moment.
In the documentary, Sir David Attenborough mentions how if there's something happens to the rainforest, there is a lot of hue and cry. But
Yeah.
we keep doing this thing with the ocean every day, and not many people are aware. So I think you're aiming for the general public to be aware of the dangers of deep sea fishing and trawling and all those things, and also how is it to have Sir David Attenborough attached to a project like this. And what kind, and you Keith, you worked with him for like 40 years, so
Yeah. I
so
mean,
how this plays, and he seems to have the same enthusiasm as if somebody seeing the ocean for the first time would bring to the experience. Yeah.
I mean, without David, there's no film. There's no two ways about it. And I think the starting point is, that this is a challenging subject, which has to happen. So with David, though, he always tells the truth. He's always told people for years and years the truth, and he has universal trust. And to have a person of his stature and what have you being able to tell this story, is just so important, to get it funded in the first place, and then to get it on cinema screens, and then to get it to the world. So that's incredibly important. But then we've also got David Attenborough, the broadcaster, the filmmaker, who is so sort of talented in terms of creating story, creating passionate sort of narration, and delivering it in such an amazing way. So the whole thing you get with David is just, well, it's unique, and we're very privileged. But thank heavens we've got him, because otherwise we couldn't make films like this. We just could not, and reach so many people. So yeah, he is a great gift.
Your experiences of working with him and also shooting this film. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think one of the incredible things about him is because he's had such a long life, he's seen so much of the natural world and the change. His experience actually mirrors that of what we've seen in the ocean. So genuinely, we were trying to discover things about the ocean at the time he was starting to explore the ocean. So when he was a boy, we knew very, very little. And then as he started to dive and film and travel, we gradually uncovered more and more. So that's very natural. But also the large scale destruction of the ocean, that all started to happen in his lifetime, and it's happening off the coast of the country he and Keith and I live in, as well as many other parts of the world. And then the recovery has happened during his lifetime, or in certain places. So he's got that phenomenal span of it. But and for me, I grew up watching his programs. I remember watching, lots of shows. Right up to, I was working by this point, but right up to Blue Planet. And at that point, I'd never met him. And then to still have 20 years that I've known him and worked with him, and to then be able to bring that to a story like this, it's an extraordinary privilege. I think it's, for us, it's a great responsibility, really, because you've got the one person who can tell this story to a big audience, and you kind of got to get it right.
You guys have been doing it for a while. What is are you still hopeful about the fact that humans can be saved from the ocean, and the earth can be saved from being destroyed by humans?
If we can be saved from ourselves, yes. We believe I believe it's possible because, as the film shows, many places have been protected by people. And when the ocean is protected, it comes back miraculously. And it helps not only replenish itself, but replenish the rest of the ocean. And many countries have done it. India is one of the countries that agreed to protect at least 30% of the ocean by 2030. Still has a long way to go, but the commitment is there. So yeah, we believe it's possible because it's already happening in many places around the world.
The biggest take home is one of hope. So this is not fake hope. This is not false hope. This is real. It's real, tangible hope. If we protect ocean, big slices of ocean, a third of the ocean, then they fill up with life again very, very quickly in the most spectacular way, more than anyone had realized was possible, and quicker than people had realized. And it fills the surrounding areas of ocean with life. And that is a win for everyone on Earth, for all fisheries, for marine life, for all of us on land, for our breathable atmosphere, for our stable climate. And as Enrique says, it's already happening. This isn't a dream or a possibility. This is a reality. It's happening as the film shows. And we're all on this journey of 30 by 30 now. So let's make it happen together.
Yeah. And how was it to have Sir David Attenborough for a project? He has, like, whatever he narrates, you think that whatever he's seeing is gospel, it's the God's truth. So how was it to bring him here, and he carries the same enthusiasm as if someone seeing the ocean for the first time? So yeah, please narrate your experiences.
I think you just hit the nail on the head there. I love that. He brings the same enthusiasm as someone who's seen it for the first time. And that is exactly it. Even at 99 years old, David, when he narrates something, when he lends himself to something, he says it with such presence and passion. It's as if someone's just seen it for the first time. When David says something, it's never about the David Attenborough show. It's all about the subject. And this subject is the ocean. It's his greatest message yet, the most important story he's ever told. So to be producing and directing this film with him, this highly authored and personal piece, was the greatest privilege. I grew up on a staple of David Attenborough. We all did. He's shown us more of the natural world than any other human alive, and he's the most trusted voice in the world. He's the greatest storyteller. When David Attenborough says something, it's real, it's true, you can believe it. So it really means something. If he says this is the greatest message ever, we should listen.
And also, he brings in a lot of his own lived-in experiences to the narration. Was it always planned like this, or it just automatically happened?
That he lent his own experiences. No, I
Yeah.
mean, this is a very, right from the get-go, David was extremely passionate about this project. This idea that after 100 years he's come to this big conclusion that there's nowhere more important on Earth than the ocean. And so that lent himself to being very personally involved in everything in the film. It's very unique. It's an extremely unique, might be the most personal account from David on screen. So he's absolutely, it's his story of ocean discovery.